It's time to look at the headlines across Nigeria, and I have the newspapers here with me, here to, for us to look at. And to do justice to all of that and make sense of some of the headlines, I have with me in the studio Dr. Dayo Kayode, one of our regulars, as well as Shijibumi Adebi Bennett. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
To see you.
How are you? How was the weekend?
Very fine. Thank God it's Monday.
Friday. Blessed weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope it's going to be Boko Haram bandits free.
Well,
Like
that's our prayer. The military is working. The military is working very hard to ensure that it is all of that free from all those things. Business Day. Let's start from there. Business Day says massive oil theft to cost Nigeria 2.155 trillion naira in 2021. Massive oil theft to cost Nigeria 2.155 trillion naira in 2021. I thought that there are those who are, keeping vigil over Nigeria oil installations and stuff. All right. We have to look at this as we get along. The national economy is next. COVID-19 third wave. Nigeria's economy at risk as federal government places 7 Lagos and 7 others on red alert. Nigeria's economy at risk as federal government places Lagos, 7 others on red alert. Okay. Now from there let's go to the Leadership newspaper. E-transmission of election results, that's what is focused here. CSOs, lawyers chide National Assembly for neglecting will of Nigerians. Civil society organizations, lawyers chide National Assembly for neglecting will of Nigerians. That's the Leadership there. Business AM is next. Business AM says it's official. Lowest disinflation in 4 months keeps CBN MPC alert. A weak consumer demand keeps inflation at 17.75%, and analysts say trend will persist to help curb food supply disruptions around the economy, and disinflation to influence MPC decision to continue holding policy rate, other parameters. All right, that's Business AM talking business there. Blueprint newspaper is next. Blueprint says COVID-19 third wave /Salah. Federal government places Kano, Lagos, Rivers, Kaduna, FCT, 2 others on red alert. Orders states to heighten protocols enforcement and assures on border protection at Salah. FCT shot sparks. Southwest senators urge tight security, warn on agitations, and NIPRD develops 3 COVID-19 products, 10 others. All right. Okay, that's a Blueprint talking about the likely third wave of the COVID-19 and Salah preparation. First News is next. U.S. Congress address, you're a liar. Federal government tells Bishop Cooker, accuses cleric of incitement. All right, that's First News there. Okay. Daily Times is next. Presidency slams Cooker over address to U.S. Congress. Accuses cleric of doing his best to sow discord and strife among Nigerians. Right. That was a fallout of the bishop, or Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, addressing or joining a conference with the U.S. Congress via Zoom, where he was reported to have said that the federal government was being nepotistic about appointments and so on. And these are reactions from there. That's Daily Times. Daily Trust is next. Testing isolation centers shut in states despite imminent COVID-19 third wave. Testing isolation centers shut in states despite imminent COVID-19 third wave. Federal government may apply segmented lockdown. That's the PSC saying this. FCT 6 states on red alert. Why Nigeria is at risk. The NCDC is saying this. Suspend DABA. Committee advises emirs. All right. These are all issues around COVID-19 we have to take cognizance of. News Direct is next. Banks' credit to government hits 60-year high. Analysts blame hike in borrowing on revenue shortfalls. And government borrowing from bank is less productive. Former president of CIBN is saying this. That's News Direct. The Punch newspaper is next, and it says Buhari's aid, that's on e-transmission of results, Buhari's aid defend rejection. NBA others say resolution illegal and selfish. Senate listened to Communications Commission, cited risk of hacking, says Ojudu. Now, the National Assembly has tied INEC hands, belittled Electoral Commission, says the NBA. Any legislation that whittles down INEC's independence unconstitutional. Senior Advocate of Nigeria is saying that. I recall INEC was saying that we have capacity to transmit results electronically. All right, that's the Punch. Nigerian Tribune. The Tribune says CSOs, lawyers, PDP vow to reject amended clause in e-transmission of election results. Canvass visa ban, recall of erring National Assembly members, fear grips Southern National Assembly members, and Nigerians should insist 2023 poll is internet compliant. Afenifere is saying this. Electronic transfer of results is possible. Telcos are saying this. All right. The APC PDP lawmakers voted against committee recommendation. Senate President is saying this. All right. That's the Nigerian Tribune. The Vanguard is next. Results transmission. We're not against INEC. Reps are saying this. We are not against INEC. Say capacity issue is between the NCC and INEC. PDP lawmakers asked Buhari to reject represent bill in September. Accused reps leadership of inciting or inviting NCC director to lie to Nigerians. You know, all our reactions around it there on the Vanguard newspaper. This Day is next. This Day says PDP asks Supreme Court to sack Matawali, defected Zamfara lawmakers, seeks protection from removal from office for deputy governor, and demands Apex Court's approval to replace defectors, and names Lawan, Bajabiamila, APC, INEC, others as defendants. Okay, that's This Day newspaper. From there, let's go to The Guardian. High prices deprive faithful of Salah celebration amid declining inflation. High prices deprive faithful of Salah celebration amid declining inflation. That's The Guardian newspaper. The Nation is next. It says state's repayment of $2.1 billion threatens workers' wages. State's repayment of $2.1 billion threatens workers' wages. The CBN to give bridge facility. Okay, that's The Nation newspaper. Presidency. Okay, the Daily Sun is the last one we're looking at right now. And it says, presidency knocks Bishop Kuka hard, calls priest disappointment for allegedly castigating Nigeria before foreigners. Okay, presidency knocks Bishop Kuka hard. That's what Daily Sun is saying here. All right. Those are some of the papers. Gentlemen, let's dig into some of the issues. If you see the front page of the blueprint says COVID-19 third wave. Federal government places Kano, Lagos, Rivers, Kaduna, FCT, and 2 others on red alert, including the FCT. And then if you see Daily Trust, testing, isolation centers shut in states despite imminent COVID-19 third wave. How ironical this is. Dr. Kaide, let me start with you on this. There has been much talk about the issue of the third wave. How are we preparing, or how are we not preparing?
You see, let me first of all state categorically that there is what we call COVID-19, all right? The only thing that I, as a person, as a layman, who is not a medical doctor, cannot say is the level of his incidence in Nigeria, other than the figures being rolled out all of the time. And why I am saying this is, to what extent has government been testing their people? This thing has been on now for a long time, over a year, okay? And we have always been talking about this testing. To what extent have they listened to the people as regards this testing? There was a time that the incidence was just as good as zero, even as good as zero. Instead of you to seize that opportunity to increase your capacity in testing your people, to ascertain whether it's really zero or not, you were not doing anything. It's as if it has gone. You forgot it entirely. Meanwhile, there are still some countries that are still exhibiting, still showing symptoms of the existence of COVID within their country. And you, here in Nigeria, have forgotten that the whole world now is a global village, whereby people comes in and out, and it can bring it in. Do you understand? Now, the third wave is here. To what extent are we guiding against it? What is the nature of preparedness, of checkmating this at our airports, at our seaports, at our land ports? These are issues. Again, you are now putting some states now on red alert. Putting them on red alert, what preparation are you making for the people? So that the people will be ready to conform, unlike the other time, whereby people are saying, look, they are ready to die of COVID-19 than die of hunger. So all these things need to be put in proper perspective, instead of us just paying lip service to them.
All right, Shidibumi, there is alert against the Delta variant of COVID-19, which is said to be more virulent, which is said to be more deadly in comparative terms to the regular COVID virus that we know or we've been reporting about. In a situation where that has been reported, yet state isolation center and testing centers are shut at this time. What do you make of this?
I think the government spent a lot of money during the last phase, and the way it affected our economy, I don't think any government wants that to happen again. There is no way we can eliminate the spread, but we can just reduce it to the barest minimum. That's what I want to take from what Dr. Kayode said. Because even Australia, they had 0 cases for a long time, for weeks. It's back. When a part of the world or a nation of the world is not safe, the world is not safe. The world is now a global village. There is nothing you can do. Even when you don't want businessmen to move around, cargoes move around. There's no way you can stop cargoes from moving around. It was alleged that the major reason why it had a lot of impact in the early stages on Italy, the other time, was because of the face mask even imported. It was reported that the face mask and all other
PPS.
All the other accessories.
Yeah, accessories.
PPS. Yeah.
Yes, PPE. Yes, it's sent to the country. Some were even fake. Some had some of these things as some had some of the virus on them. So when a part of the world is not safe, we're not safe. Forget that maybe it's in China today, it's in India tomorrow, it's in Cuba. Cargo must move, people must move, diplomats must move. So the only thing we have to ramp up is testing, then curative measures. So at least if not all the hospitals must be closed. No, not all the isolation centers must be closed. Then we should have learned to have at least some hospitals dedicated to COVID-19 prevention and cure. So those are the things that
some people have said that COVID-19 has come to stay. That COVID-19, the way we know it, is not going to be a thing of the past, like, okay, it was just like an epidemic that came or a pandemic that came and then it went. That it has come to stay. So people have to learn how to, take precaution against it. But with this now, and like you said, and also Shibumi said, people are traveling, from one country to another as usual, as regular. In fact, very, very fewer countries now have any restriction at all when it comes to, okay, people from this destination should not travel directly to our country and all of that. Would you be looking at, would you be advising issues of restrictions right now?
You see, if Nigeria is to restrict now, even the whole world is to restrict now, it will be highly devastating on the economy. The most important thing we need to understand is this. There had been pandemics, series of pandemics in the world, all right? And one way or the other, they were being phased out. Look at even malaria. There was a time malaria was tagged pandemic, okay? But look at the way it is now. Why? Because along the line, the pharmacists, they were coming up with different types of drugs that can be used. If you look at it now, chloroquine has been phased out. Now you now have alphantrine and all that. Do you understand? So also, it will see happen to COVID-19.
I understand we have a vaccine for malaria now.
But the most important thing is, one, where is Nigeria in the committee of production of COVID-19 vaccines? To what extent is Nigeria trying to come into being part of those that be producing all those COVID-19 vaccines? Look at malaria. Go to any corner. You see where they are producing all these genuine products to cure malaria. Okay, what are we doing to this of COVID-19? One, two, to what extent are we also, because our borders are so important, are we also checking at that place? Look at this malaria, yellow fever card and all that. Go to our airport and see what is happening there. Do you understand? So also, on this COVID-19, I think Shibumi made an example of that, of maybe his cousin or his friend or wherever that traveled down as regards testing, as regards checking at the airport. And we have also read series of people's discussions as regards our airport. So all those things need to be taken good care of. Then our leaders, especially political office holders, must ensure that what is due to the people as regards eradicating COVID-19 or reducing the incidences of COVID-19 is being given to the people, so that we can always at any point in time ameliorate the incidences of COVID-19 within our polity.
All right. Shibumi, if you look at the protocols of COVID-19 that has been handed down for people to adhere to when it comes to the use of face masks, social distancing, and regular washing of hands with running water and soap, it seems only in few places those things are adhered to. When you're entering maybe like a shopping mall, or you're entering like a bank, very few places where those things are adhered to. If you're approaching by the door or by the gate, you have, hand sanitizers or the soap for you to wash your hands and all of that. Talk to us from that window.
I believe that in as much as those things are good and we must practice them, we must, it's emphasis on
become a lifestyle.
Yes. It's not just for COVID-19. I drive, I get to my office, I wash my hands. Maybe I get home, I wash my hands. If I get to anywhere, I want to use the convenience or where I can get running water, I wash my hands. That's the lifestyle. We should always emphasize that. Emphasis on must. Those are things that we must do. We must learn to do those things. But the truth is, no matter how good you are with all these things, COVID-19, since it can be transmitted by air, there is absolutely nothing you can do. I was discussing with someone when I contracted COVID, and it was even my wife that first said, where could it have been? You really tried, because at that time we had few people in the family, like 6 months before that time, that were in the isolation center. So we were big on prevention, on all those procedures, but I still had it. So I don't know, we Christians call it grace. So you just have to do what you can do.
It's the Nigerian thing.
Yeah? Do what you can do.
Leave it to the God factor.
And leave the rest to God. The only thing is, the vaccination must be prompted up so that we can at least have a semblance of immunity. It's very, very important. I know the pharmaceutical companies are really investing into the other, this new strain now. Maybe they can add something to it. We're getting to hear about maybe you are supposed to take a third jab now or something. So these things are very, very important. Curative. When we do our own prevention, and maybe peradventure, or fortunately or unfortunately, we still contract the virus, then the government must come in terms of curative and all other measures to help.
When you get to your office to wash hands, in that your office locality, how many of such offices are having running water there? So those are the things government need to look into. How many houses are having running water to wash their hands?
Okay. The running water in that context, well, maybe government might say it mustn't be from a tap. Even if you fetch water, you pour on your hands. Water is running.
and then to get that water available is the problem. You see, these are some of the things that government need to look into.
There's actually a challenge of having water, clean water in many places.
Yeah.
And
there is no sector of the economy that there is no challenge.
Yeah. No, there's a challenge everywhere. We will overcome. Yeah. We will overcome. We're Nigerians. We always overcome. Yeah. All right. Let's look briefly at Business Day. There's a report that says massive oil theft will cost Nigeria 2.155 trillion naira in 2021 on Business Day. This is a little scary because if you see the figure, 2 trillion naira that is lost to theft, Now, recall that when it comes to installation, when it comes to pipelines, the contracts for safeguarding, some stretches or some areas of the pipelines and installation have been given to some people, and they're keeping an eye on it. So when we still have a report like this, how does it come to Shibumi? Let me start with you on this. How does this come to you?
It's welcome to Nigeria.
It's well
because the theft is not just about installations. It's not just about pipelines. The theft also encompasses when people take the refined product and subsidized product to Chad, to Republic of Benin, to Niger. Because the government is, as of today, you can quote me anywhere, landing cost for petrol is not less than 230 naira to a liter. So you can see how much the government is subsidizing. Because the price of crude in the international market is at almost $80 per barrel, which makes even crude per liter to be like 210 or 215, depending on the exchange rate you are using. So the little light at the end of the tunnel that I have is if we can encourage Bua, Dangote, and all these other people to start on time. At least you sell crude to them in naira, and you take out the subsidy. then they sell to the people. So it goes up but still comes down. So the government is not subsidizing. We pay a little more. It's not going to be, because they are also business people. So even if you take it to Chad or to Niger, then the guy is making his money. The money is in the economy. So the government is not paying subsidy on an exported product. So those are the things that I can just see. Apart from that, no matter what you do to Nigerians, once they see a loophole, they will really, really leverage on it.
You see, the issue of crude oil. The crude oil is an international product or commodity. He talking about the issue of the possibility of selling it in naira. I wonder how that is going to be anyway.
You see, this is part of what I call futures. One of the futures of a disistocratic government. What do I mean? When you are coming out of this figure, know that something is in the offing that they are looking at. Look at what you just said. I picked what you just said. That when government subsidize a lot, and some people now takes it to Niger, Benin Republic, and all that, they make money. And what has always been the argument of government on removal of subsidies in all these days is all about this. Now, is it you or me or Shiji that does that? It's still these same big people. Now, who and who are at our borders? Are they not government officials? So are they flying this thing?
Yeah, we hear of porous borders.
No, even when we hear,
listen, you don't have any official account.
Sorry, sir. When you have porous borders, it is easier for you to move all these vehicles that they smuggle inside than to drive a whole tanker. So how are you smuggling those tankers and you are not being caught? Who are those people smuggling all those tankers? Okay. Again, why are you still till now refining your product outside of the country? So these are issues that we need to quickly trash out.
Okay.
And don't let them use this one to come back and say, because of this, we are now going to increase pump price. No. Nigerians, we are wise enough.
Okay.
We have opened our eyes.
All right. Nigerians are waiting for the almighty Dangote refinery at the end of the day. Maybe by next year when it kicks off, maybe you could fix all of these challenges one way or the other. Maybe, I'm just saying. Because the point there is the refinery is a private one, not a public one. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Dayo Kayode, for coming on the program.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate you. And thank you, Shibumi Debi Bennett. Thank you for coming as well.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Right.